Hey there, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I hope you guys have been all doing really, really well today. A couple minutes late here behind, but I wanted to jump in and I wanted to say again, welcome. Welcome to the group here. If you're new to the group, I want to say welcome. If you guys have been with us for a long period of time, I want to say welcome to you as well. For those of you who are going to be jumping on live here, again, great to see you. For those of you who are going to be watching the recording afterwards, I want to say welcome to you as well. We're going to get a lot of information here tonight. As you guys know, I'm Dr. Botelho, and if you're here, what does that mean? It means that you care about your health and you're ready to actually start taking some action. What I'm about to tell you tonight, I think is probably going to flip, I think it's going to flip some people around a little bit. It's going to flip for some of you, some of the things that you've been taught about type 2 diabetes, and it's going to put you on your head for a couple of different reasons. Because the truth is, and I want you to hear this, and I know you know this already, what modern medicine is doing with diabetics and diabetic care isn't working. If it was, we wouldn't see what's happening, which is the exponential. Every single day, more and more people are diagnosed with diabetes. So let me just first say this. This is not your fault. It's the system. It's the system that you're working in, and that system is broken, and you guys know that that's the case. But today what I want to do is I want to pull the curtain back, and I want to talk about one of the most misunderstood health conditions on the planet, and that really is diabetes. And if you stick with me here for the next few minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to walk through and we're going to talk about some things that I think that's really going to give you a lot of hope. It's going to give you clarity. It's going to give you some tips that you can actually start using here tonight. So I want to start off, and I just want to ask you a question. You know, if you could do things differently, if we could, here we are, we can send an astronaut into space, we can FaceTime somebody. I mean, good Lord, we can FaceTime somebody all the way across the world. You can get sushi. You can get sushi delivered to you in like 30 minutes. Well, if we can do all these different things, why does the medical system, why does the medical model that's out there have a less than 1% success rate in reversing type 2 diabetes? Guys, I want to say that again, less than 1%. That's not just disappointing, it's absolute without question, it's outrageous. But here's the deal. Type 2 diabetes isn't a failure. It's not your body just saying, hey, I'm going to make your life hard. It's not your body just saying, hey, I'm going to break down. Most of us don't realize this, and the medical literature is clear about this. It's that actually diabetes is a protective mechanism. Your body is actually trying to protect itself. So let me say that again. Type 2 diabetes is actually a protective mechanism. That's a mouthful for me to say here tonight. Now, I know for many of you, you've been told something different, right? But here's the catch, because the standard of care that's out there, the same one that we just talked about, the same one that has that Kaiser study that shows that there's less than 1% reversal rate for type 2 diabetes by doing what? Diet, exercise, take your prescriptions. It never actually mentions things like diabetes is actually a protective mechanism. They treat every single diabetic the same. They treat every single diabetic like it's just a glucose issue, like it's just a high blood sugar problem. Take your meds, push the sugar inside the cells, and then you're going to repeat that all over again. But no one's asking and actually saying, well, why is your sugar staying high? Why is it there in your blood vessels? Why it's staying high in your blood vessels in the first place? So let's kind of break this down a little bit. Your body is designed to actually live to be about 120 years old. I know for some of you don't believe that, but that's what it's built. Your DNA is built for longevity. That's kind of like the factory setting it was set at to live that long. And to do that, what you need to do is you need to take in two really, really important ingredients. That's air, oxygen, and food, that's fuel. And then you take both of them and you mash them inside of your cells. Then what happens is you make energy. Now inside each of your cells, there are these little engines, and you've heard about them beforehand. They're called mitochondria. They're the powerhouse of the cells. With those engines, they don't start. They don't start working correctly. They start getting damaged. That's your body's actually defense mechanism. It's a defense mode. It just falls back into this protective mechanism. And what does that really mean? Well, this protective mechanism, how your body is actually set up, is it actually shuts the doors of the cells. It doesn't allow that glucose to come in, and it starts controlling what actually does allow to get in. And that's the way it protects itself. And one of the first things it does, and it shuts out, guess what? Is glucose. It's your blood sugar. So here's tip number one that I want to leave you with tonight. So stop asking, just how do I lower my blood sugar? You got to start asking a little bit of a different question, and that's why is my body keeping blood sugar at such a high rate? Because high blood sugar isn't the problem. It is a symptom. It's a symptom of these damaged engines, and your body is doing everything it can to protect itself from those engines that are inside of your body. And what does it want to do? It wants to keep those engines alive, to keep you alive. So what does your doctor do though? They give you medication, they force that sugar back into the cell, and here's the kicker with that. That engine, right, it hasn't been repaired. So your body, what does it do? Because it wants to keep those doors blocked, your body will actually start fighting harder and harder against that. That's why the meds don't work. You know, they might work for a period of time. Maybe what winds up happening is it drops your blood sugars down for a small period of time. But then after a while, your blood sugars start going back up. And then what is your doctor left with? To just get a higher dose, another pill, another injectable, another insulin. And that's where all roads eventually lead to, and that's insulin. And you get to the point where you're just maxed out. You're maxed out with all these medications, and nobody's talking about reversing anything. It's not that your doctor doesn't care. It's just the system that they're working in, that they're treating you in. They're just looking at these symptoms. They're just looking at the symptoms and trying to figure out which medications that they give you. Instead of actually looking at it, take a step back and say, why is it there in the first place? What are the root causes? You know, what's the root cause? Maybe it's something like mitochondrial damage. Maybe it's cellular stress. Maybe it's toxic buildup. Each person is different. You know, if we don't address that, we're just playing this whack-a-mole game. You guys know that whack-a-mole game. You know, one symptom comes up and you just whack it right down. You know, the carnival game, the little gopher pops up and you hit it down with a hammer. That's the same thing with the prescriptions. So here's tip number 2 that I want to leave you with you tonight. You know, the most powerful step you can take to start reversing your type 2 diabetes is actually start reversing the burden on these cells. So what does that really mean? It means cutting down all this inflammation that's inside of your body. Here's one of the easiest things that you can do to cut down inflammation. Look at the foods, and we talk a lot about them here in our group. Look at all the pro-inflammatory foods that are out there. You know, you can find lots of resources that we've given in this group already about that, but those inflammatory foods, they're choking off your cells. You can add things like nutrient-dense, unprocessed foods. That definitely will support cellular repair. Drinking water. We all know drinking water is important, but you got to make sure that you're drinking clean water. We just did a Wellness Wednesday just recently on that. If you haven't had an opportunity to go do that, find it in the feature tab. We talked a lot about that. Heavy metals in our water supplies. Moving your body. We all know that we should be moving our body. Managing stress. All small, little, powerful things that you can do right now. Listen, you don't need a full overhaul. You just need to make sure that you're removing the burden. You got to figure out where that burden is coming from, and your body's going to start healing. And why does it start healing? Because your body was actually designed to heal. And here's the truth that I want you to walk away with today. Your body's not broken. Your body was divinely, brilliantly designed, but it was divinely designed to actually protect you. So if you learn what your body is trying to protect itself from, then that's how you start reversing this problem. It's like when how should I put it? It's like when you get that little light on your dashboard. You know, you don't all of a sudden you see that little light on the dashboard and you just slam the gas, right? You put the pedal down and you just hammer it. Why? And you're not ignoring it. You actually baby it. You feather your car, right? Like you want to go slow. You want to take it to the mechanic so he can fix your car, right? You got to find the root issue and then you fix it. Now here's the thing, and some of you may need to hear this. Some of you treat your cars better than you treat yourself. Your body actually deserves the same kind of care. So if you're currently living with this kind of protective mechanism that's happening inside of your body and you're stuck on meds, you're frustrated by the numbers that just keep going up and down no matter what you do, whether you're eating something you think is healthy, you know you're eating something that's bad, and the numbers look better when you're eating something bad than when you do when you're healthy. Please do this one thing. Find out what your type 2 diabetes is protecting you from. You find that, you unlock the ability to be able to actually reverse it. If you find this information helpful that I'm sharing with you here tonight, remember, we have our Masterclass coming up here. We have our Masterclass going to be going live 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central. And it's called the Reversal Blueprint, what your doctor isn't telling you about type 2 diabetes. In this Masterclass, we're going to show you a ton of information, things that you can walk away practically. We're going to show you how to reduce medications, how to actually go about doing that naturally. We're going to talk a lot about foods. What are the foods that actually you can start looking at to help you decrease your blood sugars, to help you get in a path that your body is actually going to start healing itself. We're going to go through real step-by-step strategy that our patients use to actually get their blood sugars to get back in a normal, healthy range. So if this is something that you want to get in on, what I want to do is I want you to type in this video, right on the comment section, I want you to type in, I'm in, so we can make sure that you get locked and loaded and you're ready to take back control of your health. So I think I want to end it up here tonight with that. Until then, thank you for joining me for this evening, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Remember, you're not broken. Your body was meant to heal. All right. I'll see you next week. Blessings to you all. Have a great day.